in my opinion, he is my favorite historical figure he is my favorite American historical figure. And the reason why I love Martin Luther King is because of his bravery. Gracias, señor. Gracias. His bravery, his, I mean, legit, his bravery, to be honest with you. Gracias. And above all, his sense of purpose. That man put his family in danger for the sake of freedom. That man decided to speak against racism in a world where black men were being hanged, in a world where black men were being treated like fucking animals. This dude who was a preacher, who was a minister, who had an incredible life, gave that up because he had a sense of purpose. He felt that calling in the Montgomery boycotts. He felt that feeling of courage. I mean, look, man. To me, man, I don't think there's. You guys have to think. Martin Luther King literally changed a country without violence. He changed the country without violence. He literally changed the core foundation of the United States without any bloodshed. In the Art of War, it says the pinnacle of wisdom. The best type of victory is the type of victory that you win without bloodshed. And Martin Luther King did that. To me, it doesn't get any greater than that. Right next to Malcolm X, those two men, to me, we all should learn from them. Especially with Malcolm X, because he's so misunderstood. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to say thank you to just, Martin Luther King. I would not be here if it wasn't for him. And he did it with peace. He did it under the premise of unison and being united. And that's something that I just want to say thank you. And of course he's not watching, but I wish all of you guys could read his story. In fact, if you guys want to read his story, go read Robert Greene's book, The Laws of Human Nature, chapter 13, the chapter that's called Developing a Sense of Purpose. Robert Greene gives a quick biography of Martin Luther. Absolutely gorgeous. And I highly recommend it for you guys to read it. Now, when people say, Penny, she's actually a long-time subscriber, is asking me, why is he misunderstood? Well, because Malcolm X was misunderstood for the simple fact that people think that he was somebody who believed in violence. People think he was somebody that believed that believed that violence was the way to change, and it really wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like, how can I say this? Like, to me, Malcolm X is a man that is an example of change. He was a powerful human being, naturally speaking. He had unbelievable charisma. He was a pimp at one point, right? He was pimping. And he went from the Nation of Islam and fully believing in them to not believing in them. And the thing that you guys have to understand is the fact that he changed his mind. Like, Malcolm X changed his mind. He was somebody who had a lot of belief, but he was flexible enough to change his mind when he notices that the group that he was following wasn't following the belief that he had. Because I think he talked against Elijah Muhammad because he had like 16 wives and some of them were children, and he spoke against them. So he was for their religion, and he saw that they didn't practice what they preached, and he walked away from them. Think about that. Yo, Malcolm X, man, it chokes me up thinking about those men, because those two men were so galvanic. It was almost like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo, when they lived in the same time. We as Americans had the privilege to have those two men alive during the most crucial moment in American history. And I don't know where we would be if it wasn't for those men. And to me, what I love the most is the message that they died for. Both of those guys, they died for what they believed. They weren't believing something while knowing that they were going to live. They believed in something while knowing deep down in their hearts that they were going to die. And that to me is something that chokes me up, thinking to have such love and desire and passion for something that you're willing to give up your life is something that we all should envy. We should not envy money. We should not envy the lifestyle that people live. We should envy the ones who love something so deeply that they're willing to die for it. That should be the focus of our envy. Because when you're willing to die for something, people, you guys do not understand. When you're willing to die for something, your life is perfect. I don't, and the thing is this, man. But Michael X was fine. All right, there's always somebody. But yeah, he was a good looking guy. But the thing is that when I was a Christian, right, I didn't fear dying. I was willing to die for what I believed. I remember walking down the street and never fearing death. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I was pretty fearless because I knew I was going to heaven. And I could tell you people that there was no other moment in my life where I felt so much peace than knowing that if I died, sorry, oh, yeah, then knowing that if I die, I'm going to heaven. Like death, I wasn't afraid of it. But with these people, it goes to another level. They weren't afraid to die because they knew they were going to heaven. Mm-mm. They weren't afraid to die because they believed in something so deeply. It wasn't that they believed they were going to go to heaven. I don't think that was it. I don't think that fearlessness came from that. Their fearlessness came from their unselfishness, from their value system. And that is something we should all envy. We should all envy that. And that's what I envy. I definitely envy that. Because to me, that is the pinnacle of human existence. And parents will tell me that. If you have a kid, you know what I'm talking about. I don't have a kid, but you know that feeling of being willing to die for your kid. That is a feeling that invigorates you. It gives you power. It gives you energy. It gives you might. And when you're not willing to die for something, when you're not willing to sacrifice your health for something, you're missing out on the fullest potential of living as a human being. You're missing out. Because the pleasures that partying, that women, that sex, that good they could give you, does not compare to the feeling of having pleasures derived from your value system and you live in your value system. It doesn't compare. It just doesn't. That pleasure does not compare from the pleasure of believing in something to the death. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have a great day. Peace out.